नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आप सभी का मेरे इस न्यू वीडियो में और आपके अपने यूट्यूब चैनल मजेदार रीडिंग में। आज हम लोग करने जा रहे हैं चैप्टर नंबर 7 पॉलिटिकल साइंस एनसीईआरटी क्लास 7 की रीडिंग, जिसका नाम है अंडरस्टैंडिंग मीडिया। दोस्तों, मैं पहले आप लोगों को दो बातें बता दूं कि आपका टाइम मेरे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है और मैं आपको इस चैप्टर के ना समरी लिखवाता हूँ और ना ही समझाता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं आपके आपके लिए इस चैप्टर की रीडिंग करके देता हूँ, क्योंकि रीडिंग इज़ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। लिखवाने वाले आपको बहुत सारे टीचर्स मिल जाएंगे, आप उनको जाके देख सकते हैं, या समझाने वाले भी, लेकिन रीडिंग करने वाला आपको बहुत ही कम जन मिलेंगे या शायद ही कोई मिले। ठीक है, बहुत ही कम जन। तो मैं रीडिंग पे फोकस कर रहा हूँ ताकि क्या हो सके, आप लोग रीड कर सकें एनसीईआरटी, जान सके कि एनसीईआरटी के अंदर लिखा क्या है। मुझे पता है आप लोग के पास टाइम कम है, इसलिए मैं आपका टाइम बचाने के लिए रीडिंग करता हूँ। आधे घंटे के अंदर एनसीईआरटी की समरीज खत्म हो जा रही हैं, एटलीस्ट क्लास 6 7 तक की। आगे हो सकता है ज़्यादा टाइम लगे, लेकिन फिर भी उसमें क्या है कि कम से कम आपको खुद नहीं करना पड़ रहा है, तो आप लोग कम से कम धैर्यपूर्वक सुन लेंगे। लेकिन जब खुद करना पड़ता है तो वो एक चैप्टर एनसीईआरटी पढ़ने में 2-3 दिन लग जाते हैं। तो मैं वो चाहता हूँ कि आपको 2-3 दिन ना लगे, वो मैं आपका आधा घंटा 1 घंटे के अंदर खत्म करा दूँ। ठीक है दोस्तों, चलिए तो शुरू करते हैं। अंडरस्टैंडिंग एडवर्टाइजिंग, क्लास 7 एनसीईआरटी पॉलिटिकल साइंस चैप्टर 7। टुडे वी आर सराउंडेड बाय एडवर्टीजमेंट्स और एड्स, एज वी कॉल them. We watch these on television, listen to them on radio, see them on the streets in newspapers and magazines. Even taxis and rickshaws carry advertisements on them. When we go to cinemas, we see advertisements before the film begins and on the internet. They often pop up when we go into different websites. What do advertisements do? How do they attract our attention? Read more to find out. देखते हैं दोस्तों, ये देखिए कुछ एडवर्टिजमेंट्स के फोटो दे रखे हैं। Advertisements draw our attention to various products and describe them positively so that we become interested in buying them. In this chapter, we will focus on the two advertisements that you see above to understand what advertising does and how it works. तो ये टॉप टेस्ट दाल केयर सोप, ये सब आपको बता रखा है। ये सोप वाला है, फिर टॉप टेस्ट दाल का है। चलिए, building brands and brand values. Have you ever heard of the word brand? Advertising is all about building brands. At a very basic level, branding means stamping a product with a particular name or sign. This is done in order to differentiate it from other products in the market. So let us look again at the advertisements above. Why do you think the manufacturers of the soap and the dal gave their products a specific name? Do you think there is a problem in using the image of the mother as the only person who takes care of the child in the care soap advertisement? ये आप लोग देख सकते हैं दोस्तों, आप लोग का काम है आंसर देना। Dals or pulses are usually sold loose in the market. We usually know dals by their types like masoor ki dal, urad ki dal, etc. These names are not brand names. When a company takes masoor ki dal and puts it into a packet, it will need to give the dal a special name. It needs to do this so that we don't confuse the dal in that particular packet with the dal that is sold loose. They decide on they decide on a name like the top taste dal. This naming of the product is called branding. Similarly, in the case of the soap, there are many soaps in the market today. In bigger towns and cities, we no longer just say soap, but rather refer to them using different names of the companies that make them. Given the many soaps in the market, the company will have to give the soap a different and a special name. By doing this, they create another brand of soap. Branding actually came from the cattle grazing. Cattle of different owners grazed together in ranches, and they often got mixed up. The owners thought of a solution. They started marking their cattle with the owner's sign by using heated iron. This was called branding. Just naming the product may not make us buy it. The manufacturers that made the soap and the dal still have to convince us that their soap and dal are better than the others available in the market. This is where advertising comes in. It plays a crucial role in trying to convince us to buy the product that is advertised. The task of creating a brand does not stop at giving the product a special name. For example, just when top taste dal begins to be sold, Another company decides to also sell dals in a packet and calls this best taste dal. So now there are two branded dals in the market. Both the companies are keen that you buy their dals. The consumer is confused because you really cannot tell the difference between top taste dal and best taste dal. The manufacturer has to give the consumer a reason to prefer a particular brand of dal. Just naming a dal does not help sell it. So, advertisers begin claiming certain special values for their brand. In this way, they try to differentiate it from other similar products. Look below at how the two dals try and do this. From the advertisements, you can now see that the two dals are saying different things. The top taste dal is appealing to our social tradition of treating guests extremely well. Best taste dal is appealing to our concern for our children's health, and that they eat things that are good for them. Values such as treating our guests well and making sure our children get nutritious food are used by brands to create brand values. These brand values are conveyed through the use of visuals and words to give us an overall image that appeals to us. Manufacturers spend crores of rupees to make sure that we see their advertisements wherever we go. ये देखो यहाँ पे एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स वगैरह दे रखा है. Brand values and social values. Advertisements are an important part of our social and cultural life today. We watch advertisements, discuss them on, and often judge people according to the brand value and often judge people according to the brand values, the brand products they use. Given that advertisements are such a powerful source of influence in our lives, we need to be able to understand the way in which they work. Let us look more closely at the two advertisements that we began the chapter with. If we ask all the questions listed, we will realize the way in which these two advertisements work. Branded dals cost much more than the dals that are sold loose because they include the cost of packaging and advertising. So many people cannot afford them. However, because of the advertisement, people who cannot afford top taste dal might begin to feel that they are not treating their guests properly. Gradually, people will come to believe that only branded dals are good and will want to buy the dal that comes in a sealed packet rather than that which is sold loose. But in reality, there is little difference between dals that are sold loose and those sold in a packet. We are just made to imagine the difference because of the advertisement. In the care soap advertisement, once again, a personal emotion is being used. As a mother, if you want to show your child your care, then you have to buy this expensive soap. The advertisement uses the mother's concern for her child. It tells the mother that her love and care is best shown through using this particular brand of soap. Because of this, mothers begin to feel that using this soap is a sign of how much they love their child. In this way, the advertisement uses the love of a mother for her child to sell this expensive soap. Mothers who cannot afford this soap might begin to feel that they are not giving their children the best care. As you can see with the two advertisements, they often target our emotions by linking our personal emotions to products. Advertisements tend to influence the ways in which we value ourselves as persons. In which we value ourselves as persons. Often, several of our cricket heroes and our favorite film stars also try and sell products to us through advertisements. We may feel tempted to buy these products because persons whom we consider our heroes tell us that they are worth buying. In addition, advertisements often show us images of the lifestyles of rich people and seldom show us the reality of people's lives that we see around us. What does this advertisement want me to feel when I use this brand? Who is this advertisement talking to and who is it leaving out? If you have money to buy these products, how would you feel when you see these advertisements? If you do not have money, then how do you feel? तो ये सब आप लोग देख सकते हैं क्वेश्चन, ये सब क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर चाहे तो दिए, ना चाहे तो ना दें, क्योंकि एग्जाम परस्पेक्टिव से उतना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। This collage prepared by school children shows celebrities promoting products. It was recently reported that a top cricketer signed a 3-year contract to do various advertisements for 180 crores. A popular model may charge rupees 5 lakh or more per advertisement. Advertisements play a big role in our lives. We not only buy products based on them, but often having certain brand products influences the ways in which we think about ourselves, our friends, and our family. It is therefore important to know how advertising works and understand what it does before we choose to buy the products that advertisements sell. We need to be able to critically understand why they use particular images, the personal emotion that they are appealing to, and the ways in which this affects how we think about ourselves when we use the product or are not able to buy it. The telecast rate for a 30-second advertisement on a major TV channel is rupees 1.5 lakh. The cost of bringing out a quarter page color advertisement in a leading newspaper is rupees 8.36 lakh. How does an advertisement get made? Advertising is a very important part of getting people to buy a brand. This does not happen easily, and several hundred books have been written on this. Advertisements aim to get people to buy a particular brand. This basically means that after we see an advertisement, we should want to buy the brand. Let us see how the persons who make advertisements decide on what images, texts, and personal emotions to use to sell the product. The loving soap, ये सब है. At the office of a prominent advertising agency. As you know, our company has a strong presence in all the metros and major cities. We would like to introduce our new freshness soap as a very special soap in the market and aim to capture a large number of consumers within the first 6 months of its release. We need an advertising campaign that will create a new interest amongst the consumers who are already used to many brands. Sir, our first task as an advertising agency is to determine the consumer profile for your soap. That is, identify the typical user of such a high quality soap. We will conduct market surveys to get a better idea of this. Then we will visualize a campaign that will appeal to our specific target audience. Excellent. Then please bring in the best market research professionals for the job. Market surveys have revealed that young mothers between the ages of 21 and 40 are concerned about the soap they use for their children and are willing to pay a higher price for a better product. We should create a brand identity that appeals to them. Good idea. All the existing brands of the baby soap in the market emphasize naturalness, etc. We need a different angle. How about associating our soap with the loving care of the mother? We should say that you cannot fully express your love for your child without your soap. We need a good brand name to go with that. How about care soap? Yes, that's a brilliant idea. The agency makes a presentation to the client. Our campaign will be based on the concept care soap express your love afresh. The visuals will focus on mothers and children to reinforce our brand strategy. I like the concept. Yes, I think this promotes a new way of expressing love and care. I would like to try this new brand. Thank you, madam. Once the marketing strategy is considered successful, the advertising campaign is finalized and released in various media along with the launch of the new care soap. Advertising and democracy. There are various ways in which advertising links to issues of equality in a democratic society. Advertising is a Advertising a product costs a lot of money. Usually crores of rupees are spent advertising a brand. Producing and showing advertisements in the media is very expensive. Because there are so many advertisements in the market today, companies have to show the advertisement again and again to have it stick in people's minds. What do you think is the target audience for the social advertisements below? What is the message that each social advertisement is trying to get across? Having read about diarrhea epidemic in the chapter on state government, can you make a social advertisement on what precautionary steps should be taken to prevent diarrhea? What this often means is that only large companies can advertise. If you own a small business, you will not have the money to show your product on TV or national newspapers and magazines. So, persons who sell papad, pickles, sweets and jams that they have made at home are not considered as fashionable as brands. They often have to sell their products in weekly markets and neighborhood shops that you will read about in the following unit. Social advertising. Social advertisements refer to advertisements made by the state or private agencies that have a larger message for society. The following are two social advertisements. Social advertisement regarding educational rights of disabled children. ये सब हो गया है ना बच्चे. Social advertisement regarding क्रॉसिंग ऑफ अनमैन्ड रेलवे क्रॉसिंग्स. तो ये सब है दोस्तों, देख लीजिए इसको. सोशल एडवर्टाइजिंग है ताकि इससे लोगों को अपना हक मिल सके और लोगों की जान बच सके. It also makes us believe that things that are packaged and have a brand name are far better than things that do not come in packets. We forget that the quality of a product has little to do with the packaging that it comes in. This shift to packaged products negatively affects the sales of several small businesses, forcing people out of their livelihoods. In a democracy in which all people are equal and should be able to lead a life of dignity, advertising tends to promote a certain lack of respect for the poor. They are not the faces we most often see in advertisements, and so we tend to dismiss their lives as worthless. Advertising, because it appeals to personal emotions, also tends to make people who cannot afford certain brands feel bad. They feel that they are unable to give their loved ones the best care that brand products appear to offer. Advertising makes us believe that things that are packaged are better than the things that do not come in packets. Advertising, by focusing on the lives of the rich and famous, helps us forget about the issues of poverty, discrimination, and dignity, all of which are central to the functioning of equality in a democracy. More than just selling us products, advertisements tell us how we should live our lives, that what we should aspire and dream for, how we should express our love, what it means to be smart, successful, and beautiful. As citizens of a democratic society, it is important for us to be aware of the strong influence that advertising has on our lives. By critically understanding what advertisements do, we can make better decisions about whether we wish to buy a product or not. Juice sellers like this one are losing customers preferred prefer branded drinks. ये हो गया दोस्तों, इसके साथ चैप्टर होता है खत्म. ग्लॉसरी देख लेते हैं. प्रोडक्ट. दिस रेफर्स टू अ थिंग और सर्विस दैट हैज बीन मेड फॉर बीइंग सोल्ड इन द मार्केट. कंज्यूमर. दिस रेफर्स to the person for whom the goods or products have been made and who pays money to buy and use them. Brand. This refers to a special identification or name that is associated with a product. Such identification is created through the process of advertising to influence. This refers to the power to change what someone believes or does. Lifestyle. In this chapter, this word refers to the people's lives being identified by the products they own, the clothes they wear, the places they eat in, etc. इसी के साथ दोस्तों खत्म होता है चैप्टर. आप लोग को बहुत बहुत बधाई कि आप लोग अंत तक बने रहे दोस्तों. हम लोग 20 मिनट के अंदर ये चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं. सोचिए दोस्तों, अगर आप लोग घर पे रीडिंग करते तो आप लोग को 1 दिन या फिर 2 दिन लग जाता, और आप लोग सोचते यार चलो 2 दिन में तो आराम से रीडिंग मार लिए, हम लोग तीर उखाड़ लिए. सोचिए मैं आपको 20 मिनट में रीडिंग करा दिया दोस्तों. अगर आप लोग ये तो आप अगर 1 के स्पीड पे देख रहे हैं तो 20 मिनट लग रहा है. अगर आप 1.25 के स्पीड पे देखेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा कम लगेगा 20 मिनट से, मतलब बहुत कम टाइम लगेगा 20 मिनट से। तो समझ रहे हैं ना दोस्तों? तो ये बात आप समझिए और रीडिंग को वैल्यू दीजिए। और रीडिंग मैं आपको करवा ही रहा हूँ, आपको बस सुनते जाना है और एनसीईआरटी आपके सामने चल ही रही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। तो अगर आपको मेरा एफर्ट्स पसंद आ रहा है कि मैं आपकी रीडिंग ना करने के काम को आसान कर दे रहा हूँ, तो आप लोग लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें दोस्तों। और मिलते हैं आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। तब तक के लिए थैंक यू एंड हैव अ नाइस डे। मेरे बेस्ट विशेस हमेशा आपके साथ हैं।